back to Huge Pop on TSN and iHeartRadio. Donnie Dasilva and longtime WWE referee Jimmy Korderas here with you. And it's time now for the big hello. And Jimmy, I'm going to try and nail this intro because I'm worried if I don't, she's going to call our manager. Our guest this week is one of the absolute hottest stars in the entire wrestling world right now. But this good Canadian girl who dreamt of being an actor didn't always plan to be part of this crazy world of pro wrestling. In fact, she credits friend of the show, Kelly, with inspiring her to become a pro wrestler. And she's had quite the circuitous route to get where she is today. She started out in my pal Dave Republic's ECCW 11 years ago, and within 2 years was already on her first tour of Japan. By 2014, she started doing extra work for WWE before joining the cast of Tough Enough, where in my opinion, she was the standout. Over the next few years, she really started to make a name for herself in TNA, and especially in the cult favorite phenomenon, Lucha Underground. She signed with WWE in 2018 and spent a few years between NXT and SmackDown before unfortunately being released. She went back to TNA and made an even bigger star of herself before deciding to call Triple H and say, okay, I want my job back. Thankfully, they listened, and my goodness, has she exploded. I mean, in 2022, I was emailing her trying to book her for an indie show, and now she's literally one of the top stars in the entire industry. Jimmy and I are thrilled because on February 28th and March 1st, she'll be coming to our hometown, Toronto, for Smackdown and Elimination Chamber. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster if you haven't already done so. Ladies and gentlemen, she is the first ever Women's United States Champion and probably the future ambassador for Hawkins Cheesies. This is Chelsea Green.
Wow, take a breath after that was incredible. You could have gone with the first ever, longest reigning, richest, tannest, hottest, most spectacular United States champion. But I think you nailed it. I will say I have no idea what circuitous means, though.
I'm going to Google it right after this interview.
I also am going to Google it, and I kept having to say it in my head to remember to say I have no idea what the hell it means.
Well, that's the word of the day. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. Yes. We're thrilled to have you here with us. I want to ask, because, we are here promoting Elimination Chamber and SmackDown coming to Toronto. At this point in your career, Chelsea, do all the cities just kind of blur together? Because the last time you were in Toronto, man, did they love you. But does it all just kind of blend into one big mishmash at this point?
Okay, in America, yes, there are a few cities that stand out to me that I love, but that's mostly because I personally have connections with them, not necessarily because of the crowd or the venue or anything to do with wrestling. With Canada, oh my gosh, I can't even explain to you. I live for Canadian shows. I don't care how big or small they are. I don't care if it's a premium live event or a live event, a Christmas holiday live event. It does not matter to me. I love going back to Canada. I feel like as Canadians, we don't claim people from a certain province. We just claim all of Canada. We love everyone. All Canadians. So that makes me really excited because, I'm from Vancouver Island, but when I go to Toronto, they give me the exact same reaction as my hometown crowd. And so whenever I hear that there's shows in Canada, there's this just excitement in me, and I can't wait to bring everyone there. I can't wait to show my coworkers around or to tell people this is where they need to go. This is a food they need to try. There's just something special about coming home. That's why, oh my gosh, Money in the Bank was incredible. It was a moment that I'll never forget. Until the end of time, I'll be telling my grandkids and hopefully my great-grandkids about the moment that Tiffy Time pushed me off the ladder. And of course, Survivor Series was amazing, but I sat in the crowd and watched it as a fan. So that was really cool. Coming back to the Scotiabank Arena and being there for SmackDown and Elimination Chamber, February 28th and March 1st, I think this might top Money in the Bank. I don't know, you guys. Coming back, as hopefully a champion and coming back just with a little more pep in my step. I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
I
you
know.
sound excited. That's for darn sure. And speaking, Donnie gave us all your praises in his intro, that fabulous intro. But recently, Cody Rhodes, Universal Champion, and Nick Aldis, SmackDown GM, also sang your praises. Nick Aldis
Ooh.
even said, and I quote, "Working with Chelsea Green is like a night off." How does that make you feel?
I don't think there's any higher praise than you that you can get as a wrestler than your coworkers saying that they enjoy being around you, they enjoy working with you, and that you're easy, because this is not an easy industry. Show business is not an easy industry, and we're with each other so often. It's like being around your siblings. You get so freaking annoyed with your siblings, and eventually it's like little things bug you. So for them to just, go out there and say like just such complimentary things about me is really sweet. I obviously always try to show up at work with a smile on my face and bring a sense of comedy to not just what you see on TV, but to the locker room. Like just bring an energy that people are happy to be around. But, maybe that's annoying to some people. I don't know. I guess not to Nick and Cody.
Chelsea, I want to ask you, about a year ago, you did an interview with friend of the show, Chris Van Vliet. And in that interview, you said, I don't care about wins. I don't care about titles. You really focused on the fact that I think most wrestlers should focus on, creating moments and having those connections with the audience. That being said, does it feel a little different now that you're winning all the time and you've got that big shiny belt next to you?
Am I winning all the time?
Well, it
Let's
feels
think
that
about
way.
it. Let's think about it here. I lost for 2 years straight, and we're not even talking about all the indie matches I lost, and we're not talking about the NXT run that I lost every match. Yes, have I won 3 times in about 5 years? Yes, yes. But has it changed? Has my head blown up? Not yet. I mean, look,
It's
we
coming.
by the time WrestleMania comes, if I'm still holding this championship, honey, my head isn't going to be able to fit through the door. But for right now, I still have my feet on the ground. I still have to come home and pick up, my dog's poop and vacuum my house. So, it's still not about winning to me, even though I am technically a winner.
Can you imagine Jimmy Chelsea walking into a meeting with Triple H before WrestleMania and saying, that doesn't work for me, brother?
Yeah, yeah. I have creative control. No, I'm not even going to go there. But again, going back to Donnie's intros, your acting career or potential acting career, I look back at other things that I didn't realize that you had a degree in psychology.
I don't.
You don't? I thought I read somewhere that you
No,
did.
do you know what? Spread that rumor, put it out there. I love that. I actually dropped out of college twice. I was going to school for kinesiology, and
Oh.
I went to school for kinesiology, and then I took a year off. I moved to Australia by myself. I lived in Australia for a year, came back, went back to school for health sciences, and then I found wrestling.
Hmm.
It's so funny. When I was in high school, it felt like, and I think it's a Canadian thing, it felt like every athletic, good looking person went to university for kinesiology.
Yes. I also like when I first found kinesiology, I thought it was very new and trendy. And then
Right.
all of a sudden I'm in it and I'm like, wait, is everyone getting like a degree in kinesiology? What's going on here? What's going on? I feel like it was a good, like, look, it takes a lot to get through any sort of science degree. But with kinesiology, it was a lot of us kind of, dare I say, failed athletes that
Right.
then were like, we're going to be personal trainers with a degree in kinesiology.
That's amazing.
I want to,
I'm really sorry,
sorry,
Donnie.
go ahead, Jim.
No, I just find it fascinating that you said in the last several years you've had maybe 3 wins at most, and yet you get some of the biggest reactions and people still love you. Do you find it difficult? I know Triple H has brought up recently. He brought up the term, so we're allowed to talk about them, heels and baby faces. You're supposed to be a heel, but at the same time, you are so loved. How is that challenging? Is it you find it challenging to get people to give you that negative reaction you're supposed to be getting?
So at first it wasn't challenging. When I was paired with Sonia, I felt like it was it was good. And as it evolved to more of like a comedy fun role, and when they put me with Piper, that's when it became a little more difficult. And I've seen it get more difficult week by week. And now at this point, the fans are so smart. You cannot, I'm sorry, but you just cannot tell the fans how to react. And if they have found that they like somebody, or that someone has worked hard and they've seen someone put blood, sweat, and tears into this industry, they're just not gonna boo you. I got a quick little boo when I said something about Piper the other day, um, in my inauguration speech. I got a little boo, so that was interesting. I actually I feel worse for my opponent. It's not necessarily about me. It's about
Yeah.
my opponent not getting the reaction that they deserve as a babyface. That makes me feel uncomfortable because as as a former babyface, I wouldn't want to be in that position. So that's where I struggle. And that's where, I've kind of spoken to the writers. How can we write some things in that will rub maybe the crowd the wrong way, and we can turn this in our favor? But, at the end of the day, the WWE universe and pro wrestling fans in general they're just smart. They're just smart, and they want what they want. And we gave them what they wanted, and that was me as champion. So now I'm not sure how we take that back.
I feel like in 2025, it's already super hard to get over as a babyface because of the reasons you're saying. Fans are so smart, and they're way past the come on guys, right? Like they're
Yes.
over it.
They
So
love an underdog story, don't
they
we
love an
all?
underdog. Yeah.
And you know what? At the end of the day, I've got to say, like, as a fan as well, I don't necessarily love to see this perfect human with a perfect body and perfect gear and a perfect speech go out and beat up a bad guy who actually isn't perfect. There's just like there's some kind of blah about that. So I think us seeing these turns from heels into baby faces, maybe that's just the way we have to go, and maybe the bad guy are the perfectly groomed superhumans, because that's not
Wow.
what the fans look like. That's not what the fans sit down and think, oh, I could be that guy. That's not realistic. Some of the people in WWE are superhuman.
Mhm.
I'll tell you, Piper
Yeah.
might be your heater, but if you lean into that abusive part and start going all macho and Liz on her, they are going to boo you out of the building, my friend.
And
Oh,
that's, something we might play with. I don't know what 2025 brings, but you might see. I don't know. I don't know what you
mhm.
might see. But, you know, I think my gut tells me that could be a really good way to go.
Hmm. I'm
You're
looking forward to this.
coming
Yeah,
to
I'm looking
town
forward to this.
on February 28th for Smackdown and Elimination Chamber on March 1st. Unless I'm forgetting something, you haven't been in an Elimination Chamber match yet. And as of this time that we are recording, they haven't announced the participants. Does that terrify you? The opportunity, the prospect of being in an Elimination Chamber match?
Absolutely. Every single premium live event terrifies me. I feel like I'm still in this point in my career where there's a lot of firsts.
Mhm.
There's a lot of firsts. And last year the girls went to Australia for Elimination Chamber. It's just a different beast with the pods, with the cage. It's just a different beast. So I am equal parts nervous and excited at the possibility of being in that match. But you know what? I'm also champion, so
Hmm.
maybe don't put me in that match.
Well,
I
that's
think,
fair.
yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. But I think there's a lot of fans out there that are hoping you are in it after seeing your performance at Money in the Bank and realizing that Chelsea goes
Yep.
all in. And I will say this: this is my last comment. I went to Money in the Bank. I took my 12-year-old son. It was his first PLE, and he's just becoming a wrestling fan. He loves Cody. His favorite wrestler, believe it or not, is Andre the Giant. But he left there hot that you didn't win. Hot. He was hot.
Okay. So maybe we've got a couple of fans that want to see me versus Tiffy.
I think that's
Maybe.
on the horizon.
On
Ladies and
top
gentlemen,
of starting the psychology degree, maybe we'll start that psychology degree rumor. Let's start that rumor as well.
Okay.
we will
Done.
put it all out on the internet.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you go to ticketmaster.ca and get your tickets now for both SmackDown on the 28th as well as the Elimination Chamber. And that they are both going to be absolutely phenomenal shows. Chelsea, say hi to Matt for us and have a great, great rest of your day.
Thank you for having me, guys. I will see you in the motherland.